guys. I feel awkward just like opening this video. There is no cheery way to open this video. And so we're here today to share with you what's been going on in our life. Now, you already know, I mean, by the title, well, no, you don't know by the title, but you know if you follow us on Instagram. And so I'm just going to jump to the point, and then we're going to back up and tell you the story and explain. So over the weekend, going into the weekend on Friday, we had to put Bowser to sleep. Man, it's so awkward saying the words. I feel like I don't even know how to quite say it. And, you know, Dan is with me because Bowser was, I mean, he was our dog, but he was Dan's dog. And this was not a decision we came to lightly, you know, when Dan and I were first talking about this and just how this was all going to unfold and just having conversations around it. One of the things that we said, or I said, was I was like, people aren't going to get it. Like, people are going to be upset. And Dan's response was, oh, that was a bird. Dan's response was, nobody's going to be as upset as I'm upset, or as upset as I am. And so that's the position that we're in today. So I feel like, I don't know, do you want to say hi? I feel like I'm just like talking.
Hi. Well, I mean, we've had Bowser for almost a decade, and he's for those of you who know him or have been around him, he's an angel, but you know, he likes to get rowdy, and that's part of the reason why I liked him. You know, one of the things that I liked about him, but you know, for many years, for most of his life, he was an extremely dangerous animal outside the walls of my house. So he was definitely an outside animal that I had to keep inside.
Well, and Bowser was attacked when he was a puppy, and we never really talked about that very much, but that was a big turning point in Bowser's personality. So prior to the attack, Bowser could go to dog parks. Bowser was just calmer in general. And then after the attack, it just triggered something in him. And he was attacked by another bull terrier, actually my parents' old bull terrier. But it's something that can happen with the breed. And so ever since then, things really took a turn.
Well, I mean, I don't need to get, there's been multiple instances, but you know, we could have put Bowser down a really long time ago, and several times, and I've just been putting the day off.
Because you don't want to make that decision. That's the thing.
Yes,
when you love an animal, you don't want to make that decision.
Yes, he's seriously injured a couple different dogs, including Zoe, who's standing right here. I've had her stitched up a couple times. But you know, it's he's such a powerful animal that just the tiniest fraction of a second of just a oops, you know, and he doesn't mean it, or like he snaps out of it, and it's just it's not good. It's so it just got to a point to where you know, I had a son and it didn't work out for them.
Do you not want to share the specifics of that?
Once Logan got to the point of being able to crawl around and run around by himself, you know, he's really grabby too. He grabbed onto Bowser's ear, and Bowser didn't do anything. You know, he's that calm, gentle giant that lives in my house, but you know, Logan got him so good that if you know what an MMA fighter looks like, or a wrestler, they have that cauliflower ear, just balloons up. That's what happened to Bowser's ear. You might have gotten a couple glimpses of it in a couple videos, but it fully ballooned up, and it took about a month for it to go back down, but now it's scarred a little bit. And you know, hey, just there was one incident that happened. Bowser got Logan in the face, and it actually happened 20 minutes before we were supposed to leave to the airport to go visit her parents. So obviously it wasn't bad, but Logan still is
has a little mark.
He's still healing up from a little mark on his face from Bowser's little, we call him his dolphin teeth. So,
and it happened in a way that, like, I mean, it almost doesn't matter because the end result was the same. But in the spirit of telling the story, it wasn't like Bowser attacked Logan. Just like you said, it was like
defensive.
Yeah, Logan tried to take food from him. Oh, sorry to close the window. Yeah, it happened in a moment where Logan stole food from him and, you know, really got in the mix.
Like that lady said, you're always waiting for the worst thing to
right.
happen, and eventually it's like, is it going to get to a point to where someone else has to put him down, or I'm forced to do it because of something that horrible happened?
Yeah, well, sorry, you look like you're about to segue into something.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say two things. One, so, I mean, geez, I have so many thoughts around this. As you guys know, we're getting ready to move, and we haven't said where, so if you're like, where are you moving? It's because we haven't said it yet. But, you know, we weren't sure what was going to happen with Bowser, because every time we move with Bowser, it is hard because he's special needs, like he said. So there's a lot that goes into transporting Bowser and even picking a new home for Bowser. Like, there's a lot to consider in that. And so it was really, like, it was weird to have him attack Logan, you know, right before we're going to different places to possibly look to move. And this was not what we expected. So the way that this unfolded and what he mentioned about the comment, waiting for the next bite, we actually attempted to rehome Bowser because, like we said, we know that, I mean, he's our little, like, clown. He was our clown angel. Like, I don't, it's, sorry if I'm awkward. It's just finding the words are really awkward because it's, you know, emotional. And we contacted the Humane Society, and we had a long discussion with someone over there, and basically she made it clear to us that rehoming Bowser was not an option because he had been with us from birth, basically. I mean, he was Dan's spirit animal. Dan was his spirit human, you know, so they were bonded. And, you know, even rehoming, apparently, from what we're gathering now, when you rehome a dog, it's still like your liability if the dog were to attack someone. So it doesn't you don't just give the liability apparently to the next owner, supposedly. Maybe that's a state-by-state thing. And basically,
he can't even get out the front door.
He can't even, no, we're always like, quick, close the garage. Like, because, I mean, seriously, the guy that came over to help us with Bowser's passing, to put Bowser down, he's from Australia, and that was one of the first things he said when he got there, was he was like, whoa, these are the dogs that are used to hunt hogs because they're so strong. And he's like, you're so lucky that this didn't result in anything worse. And that was what the woman on the phone had said. We kind of relayed to her all of the instances where Bowser had shown aggression and we were scared. And by the end, she was like, it sounds like you're just waiting for Bowser's worst attack to happen.
It was so hard because when you make that kind of a decision, or you make the appointment,
I'm sorry.
Anticipating the death is really hard, and like I said, when I've had to, you know, think about this decision in the past, I've shed tears about this day, you know,
years ago,
multiple times. So it wasn't easy, and especially afterwards for a couple days.
Yeah, I mean, we thought about 5 years ago that we were going to have to put Bowser down after an aggression that he made on someone. And so we cried in our living room when we thought that was going to have to happen in our old apartment. It was like hours of crying. And It didn't. It's a long story. But the point of that is that this has, in some ways, it's been anticipated for a really long time. And in others, it was completely shocking. Like, never crossed my mind, oh, now we're gonna have to put Bowser down. I just thought, oh, he's just got to be in the right home. But after, getting counsel from multiple professionals who are with dogs all the time, all of them said that they all said the same thing.
Well, nobody knows how to take care of Bowser except for me. He has to stay inside. I have a backyard. He can go out there. He's fine. But once another dog barks outside from around the neighborhood, or he hears a jingle from a dog collar, he's bipolar. So he goes into this other mode. The hair stands up on the back of his neck, and he'll run so hard that he'll try to go through the fence, and so he'll beat himself up on his head, and he'll run back and forth. Scuttlebutting is a bull terrier thing. They will run and they will bounce off walls, but he kind of takes it to another level, and he tries to go through the wall to get to the dog, and sometimes he'll run so hard that he'll pull his nails out. So I have to save himself from himself. So
he used to hurt himself a lot.
I'm
gonna close that door.
That being said, he was an awesome inside dog. He stayed clean most of the time because of that, so he got to sleep on the bed and in the bed sometimes. And he was the best little snuggler.
Well, that was something I was going to say is it's a weird position. I mean, geez, for a long list of reasons. But one of the things, I know a lot of people who before kids, they didn't want to get a dog because they were worried about the kind of obvious thing of like, then the kids get there and then the dog gets jealous or aggressive or whatever. And a lot of you guys have asked us since we've had Logan, how Logan is done with the dogs. And we've told all of you over and over again that he's been fine with them. And I just want to clarify that that wasn't a lie, that he in a lot of ways really has been fine and was fine with both of them. They were so good with him in so many ways, but it got harder the older he got because, when he was a baby, it was like Bowser wasn't going to go out of his way to aggress on Logan. So everything was fine. But once he got older and he could move and he got feistier, it was Logan in Bowser's space. And Logan couldn't help but grab at him and try to steal things from him and try to interrupt him when he was eating or scream at him. And so it was almost kind of unfair to Bowser because it was like, he's a good dog-ish. I mean, we told you we'd mourned him years ago thinking he was going to have to go because of those things, but he wasn't doing really anything to Logan. But the problem was once Logan got older and once Bowser crossed that line, I mean, I don't even feel like I have to explain it.
Bowser's new routine is, he's got his normal corner and he's taking a rest. If Bowser's in the mood and his attention is on him, he'll walk over to Bowser, and Bowser doesn't want to get grabbed on, so he knows he has to get up and move.
Every time.
So he
he'd
has
be
to
sleeping
get up
or
quickly.
relaxing. It's like,
yes, and it's always accompanied with a growl. So he's always it's like a grumpy growl, and I have to move, and he'll move to the next spot. And then if Logan follows him, it's a growl and move. And so I gotta split him up. And so that was, that wasn't the thing all the time because Bowser could come over to Logan with a wagging tail.
Logan's play with
not
him,
grabbing at him, and Bowser's licking the food that's on his face.
Yeah, things just became more complicated in this mid phase of like he's not a baby, but he's not old enough to know better how to control himself really, and so that just made Bowser really unpredictable. And thinking that like, God willing, we have more children, well then it's going to start all over again. And then who knows what kind of chaos is going to be there with 2 kids. Combined with the fact that Bowser is older, combined with the fact that he already got physical on Logan, combined with the fact that he's done this before. It was so much.
Yeah, it's not like we scheduled him to get put down the day we got back from vacation.
No.
Actually,
we hadn't even thought about it still when we left. We were just like, Bowser's got to get out of here. He's got to be rehomed. Like, this is not the appropriate home for him. And like I said, it was that conversation with that woman that was like, you guys, you can't.
Well, we were out the door, right? And in the moment, I'm thinking, you know, I grew up with the movie Old Yeller, and I wanted to pick Bowser up by the back of the neck and take him into the backyard and put him down right there. We actually didn't end up leaving that day. We ended up going to the airport, and then there was just a few things that happened, and we just canceled it and scheduled it for the next day. So we got home, and we ended up having like the best day. Like all day ended up being, I just remember saying that out loud, like, I'm glad we didn't travel today and have the worst day. You know, we came back and we all had the best day together. So
yeah, so like he said, it was really rough after, you know, it happened on Friday, and we woke up and had a really great day with him. You know, he was fed really good food, taken on a really beautiful outdoor drive. The weather, unlike today, was perfect. It was so beautiful. We played with Bowser in the back and soaked up the sun and just relaxed with him. And like I mentioned, we did it at our house, so we paid for the anesthesiologist person to come over. And it was good that we got to do it there. He had another dog of his in the past that had to be put down because of illness and age, and, you know, had to do it the more traditional way at the facility. And we were just like, we couldn't do that. So
I got a special bull terrier muzzle. It's like, you know, it's got to be able to fit their head, you know, their nose and their head are like the same. So
it's a cone. Yeah.
So I didn't want to have to put him in that and then him get super anxious or pissed or whatever being around, you know, a new place. It's obviously scary. He knows what's happening.
And then we're stressed. We're like having to call them ahead of time and be like, okay, we're about to come in the door. Is everyone secure? Like, it was just, so thank God we were able to do that. You sounded like you were going to say something. No.
It was just the worst day.
It was the worst day. It was amazing because, you know, everything comes to an end, and if you're gonna if you have to have an end, which everything does, it was a beautiful, perfect ending in our living room, in our arms, calm. You know, he only had one moment of tension, which is when he first, you know, used the needle on him. He freaked out a little bit, but then he calmed right down, and we were able to hug him and kiss him and hold him and thank him, you know. And that was a lot of like my time. So your time with Bowser, it was a lot of like fun things, feeding him and driving him around and hugging him and playing with him. My time with Bowser, I just spent time hugging him, and it was kind of a combination of like telling him how I felt and how grateful I was to him for all those years, combined with kind of like prayer to God and thanking God, you know, for giving us this time with him. You already know how I feel. Like, I think everything is created by God. I think that creation is so beautiful, and Bowser was so unique and special and perfect for our family. And, you know, we didn't have kids for how many years of our marriage? 11, 12 years of our marriage. So Bowser really was like, he was our kid in our kidless years. We had a large chapter with him, and we're just so grateful to God for allowing us to have him and love him and hold him and care for him, and for making us feel safe and protected, and all the laughter. And, you know, yeah, I don't even really know where. I feel like that's kind of it, huh? Yeah, we didn't want to do this, obviously. Also, we didn't, you know, when you make a hard decision, it's like you don't want to make the decision. And then on top of not wanting to make the decision, you don't want to have to relive it and tell people you made the decision. And so, like, this is also really hard, just like filming this video and telling you guys. But, you know, we want everybody to know where our other family member went, what's going on. And you know, if you've been following us for all these years, I mean, a large chunk of our marriage and our time with Bowser has been here in our videos on the internet. We got a lot going on right now, mentally, emotionally, physically.
I don't even know what we even said or what we didn't say. I'm sure there was lots left out. So, all that being said, I think Bowser he was the best animal I ever owned. And now I think the Bull Terrier is my favorite animal, period.
Oh.
So.
I want to say one more thing actually before we go. Where's my phone? I wrote a list of things that I'll never forget about Bowser that I was going to put in my Instagram post, but I'm not. I just want to read it here really quick. I know. So Dan had to step aside. I just wanted to read you these things. So he said things that I don't want to forget and I will never forget about McBowsen. The way he smelled. The soft spot on his nose. As he had, you know, his big curved head, and then near the end it was really soft. The thick fur on the back of his neck. It's just like extra thick back there. His big proud chest, because he had like, I mean that's self-descriptive, but like at the top it was just like so firm and like up. Here it goes, Zoe. His elephant toe, because his paws. He had like a thicker toe from the way that he stood on his paws, and we would have to like, Dan would have to like trim it off. How his tongue would stick out when he smiled. So when he was like really worked up. Zoe, come here. When he would get like really hot or happy or excited, his tongue would stick out. It was just so wide and cute. How his tail was dipped in paint. So like there was like 10 hairs on the back of his tail that were just like white. Everything was red except for the back of his tail was white. But it was like such a small amount, so it's not like, oh, his whole tail was white at the end. It was just like a couple hairs. And then I put his octopus lips, because on the inside of Bowser's mouth, if you flipped his lips out, they were literally like had like octopus. I don't know. It was really bizarre. And I'll never forget all those things, and I don't want to ever forget all those things about him. So Dan is officially out. He's feeling very emotional, and that's it. I wanted to say to you guys, I wanted to give you the update, and I just wanted to let you know I'm going to be trying my best to continue to fill you guys in on things as they're changing and unfolding here in the next month or two. But just know that like a lot is changing, a lot is unfolding, and you know, the internet is YouTube, creating videos, sharing is my passion and my job. And I want to continue to do both, but this just kind of gives you guys an idea of like some of the stuff we've been kind of walking through, and I'll just continue to keep you guys posted the best I can. But thank you again for all of your support over the years, and I don't even know what else to say. I'm just gonna go now. So, all right, say bye, Zoe. I'll see you soon. See you soon, guys.